Today is the 3rd, so technically people are getting back to work, but I think over the next few days, and certainly by Monday, we'll be back to a more normal commute. And as a former traffic reporter here at the station, I know that Illo Torture situation is bad on a good day. And of course, now with construction expected to be happening throughout the year, I would imagine, it's not only going to be torture, but it's affecting the economy. It's hurting families. The impact is really incredible, and Brenda O'Farrell is watching the impact and reporting on it diligently from the 1019 report, which is her paper out there in the West. And Brenda joins us now. Hello, Brenda.
Good morning.
How are you?
Very well. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. First of all, this kind of reporting is so important, and I congratulate you for starting your own outlet. And we all knew you from the Gazette, of course, but these are the kinds of issues that these days, unfortunately, can't be reported with the depth that you are reporting them. And so we appreciate that, and it's kind of sad, unfortunately, that our mainstream outlets can't get to the nitty-gritty like you can.
Well, one of the things that I think we were successful in highlighting is that, early in December, the transport minister, after, the bridge has gone through a number of sort of downscaling in terms of the capacity that it can handle, the pressure was mounting. So she held a press conference, and in that press conference, she announced that the new bridge would be opened by the end of 2026. And a lot of the media reported that verbatim. But in fact, when you actually dig down, we were able to show that, in fact, that is not the case, because the new span is actually 2 separate structures, one that will support the westbound lanes and one that will support the eastbound lanes. And what is going to be completed, if everything goes according to schedule, is just one half of that. So only the westbound lanes will be open. So in fact, by the end of 2026, the best case scenario is that 3 lanes will be available. So that means 2 lanes in one direction and 1 lane in the opposite direction, which would switch depending on the flow of rush hour traffic. So in essence, if you keep digging, and I pushed Transport Quebec to say, well, when is the full span, the full 6 lanes of traffic going to be opened? And their best case scenario is the end of 2027, maybe 2028.
Wow.
So this is another 4 years possibly, or at least 3.5 years before this span is back up to full capacity. And, a lot of people that rely on this major economic corridor are just saying, how can we live with that? Because that's the other thing that we were able to do. We made a call out in early December to let people express how the crisis on the bridge has affected them. And we weren't looking for long rants or anything like that. We just sort of framed it, complete the sentence. And what we got was this complete tapestry of all sorts of ways that this bridge crisis has affected regular individuals in enormous ways. So it's, again, how do you affect change? I think is, sometimes you just have to highlight the facts. And another fact that came to light in the last little while, in my going back and forth with Transport Quebec, I asked them, this reduction of lanes, is it because the structure can no longer support a certain amount of weight? And as of December 2nd, they were adamant, no, it has nothing to do with that. But now if you go to Transport Quebec's website, during the latter half of the month of December, it specifically says that the lanes have been reduced to reduce the load on the bridge. So, again, people are starting to have doubts as to what they can trust when they're hearing updates at this point. Because not only is the traffic a concern, but safety is becoming a big concern. and there is a doubt, there is a trust factor that is deteriorating as well as the structure itself.
So I don't want to engage in any Île Tourtes trutherism here. I'm an idiot when it comes to engineering, so I just want to put that out there before I ask the question. But on the safety of the bridge, is there talk long-term of demolishing it and replacing it with something, I'm going to say, more sturdy looking? I mean, it's a long span. Is a suspension bridge maybe not more architecturally appropriate there?
Well, again, I'm not an engineer either. They have a design that's been approved. It looks the aesthetics of it looks very similar to what's there now. It is two separate structures, unlike the one that's there now. So that, but in terms of what is the best, these are the engineers, and you think that what they've come up with, although it's come under harsh criticism because it does not include capacity to extend the REM light rail service to this area. So that's the big criticism that it faces right now. But in terms of, what is the best type of structure, again, I don't think I'm the person to pontificate.
Yeah,
on that
no,
one.
Of course. We're just talking. I was curious if there's at least any plan to replace it with a real big bridge, like just a real bridge.
Well, there is a real bridge. The plans are there. They've been made public, and it's they've been designed and modified throughout a whole process that has begun, back since, I guess it started back in 2016. So that process has taken its course, and there is a design there. A contractor a consortium has been contracted to actually build it. So these things are in motion as we speak. I think that the real issue people are concerned about is the speed in which it's going to be built. It's not happening fast enough, considering the effect that it has on this area and the people who live here.
One last question, Brenda O'Farrell, because you've been going through some stories of how this is impacting people with Elias over the last few weeks, and I'm curious if you've had any news stories to share over the last week or two.
Well, again, it's it's all in the detail. We heard from one mother who, she doesn't use the bridge on a daily basis, but her daughter traveled in to go to Cégep on the island, and she went out and bought her this tool that is designed to cut seatbelts and break windows. And I think that is a measure. When you're out buying your children these tools because you fear that their car might plunge into the river.
Yikes.
These are people that are taking action out and they're motivated by this deep-seated fear. And that's beside all of the daily time delays that these people have to go through to access their either work, school, or what have you. So, it's little snippets like that. You have, there's another case of a man who lives in Vaudreuil. He's divorced. He has 2 kids. And for years, they've been able to function, him and his ex-wife, to co-parent their children, where 1 week the kids were with him and 1 week the kids were with her. They've had to bring this to a halt because they cannot get their kids from their home to their school efficiently, or not even efficiently, but they can't even make it and keep their jobs. So, he's living in Vaudreuil. He has to get his daughter to the West Island. He can't do that given the constraints of his job. So the daughter now stays with the mother. Wow. But the mother lives in Laval, and the youngest son, oddly enough, goes to high school in Vaudreuil. So she can't leave Laval, travel to Vaudreuil, and then get back onto the island to go to her job.
Wow.
So the son now has to live with him. So the kids are split. Their arrangements that have worked for years amicably no longer function anymore. So these are some of the highlights of what's happening to people here. And it's not a question of, we'll just hang on till Christmas, or we'll just, for a couple of months. It is going to be years of this.
That's incredible. We can't obviously continue like this, and we have to find another solution for these people, or the local economy will be in ruins by the time this is over. Brenda O'Farrell, the 1019 report tracking this Tourtes Bridge situation. Thanks so much, Brenda, and really impressive work.
Good to talk to you.
Thanks.